Mango was a boy who loved living in the forest with his animal friends. One of his best friends was a squirrel named Nutty. Nutty was always cheerful and energetic, and he liked to collect nuts and berries for his winter stash. He also liked to play with Mango and explore the forest together. They had many other friends in the forest, such as a bear named Honey, a deer named Fawn, a rabbit named Hoppy, a parrot named Polly, and a turtle named Slowly. And of course another best friend of Mango was Monkey Banjo. They all lived in harmony and helped each other when they needed. But there was one thing that troubled them every year: the monsoon season. It was the time when the rain poured down for weeks without stopping, making the forest dark and gloomy. The animals could not tell the time of the day, which caused a lot of inconveniences. They could not sleep well. They could not hunt or gather food easily. They could not play or have fun. The monsoon season this year seemed much longer than before. Mango and Nutty were especially unhappy about this situation. They missed seeing the sun and the blue sky. They missed feeling the warmth and the light. They wished there was a way to know when it was morning, noon, or evening. One day, they decided to ask the wise old owl who lived in the tallest tree in the forest. The owl was known for his knowledge and wisdom, and he often gave advice to the animals who came to him. "Hello, owl." Mango greeted him politely as he knocked on his door. "Who's there?" the owl asked in his hoarse voice. "It's me, Mango, and my friend Nutty. We have a question for you." "Come in. Come in," the owl said as he opened his door. Mango and Nutty entered his cozy home, which was filled with books and scrolls. The owl offered them some tea and berries, which they gratefully accepted. "So, what is your question?" the owl asked as he sipped his tea. "Well, owl," Mango began nervously, "we were wondering if there is a way to tell the time of the day when it's raining so much." The owl stroked his feathers thoughtfully. That is a good question indeed," he said. "You see, long ago, there was an ancient civilization that lived here. They were very advanced and clever, and they built many things that we still can't understand today." "Like what?" Nutty asked curiously. "Like temples, statues, wells, and sundials." "Sundials? What are those?" Mango asked. "A sundial is a device that uses the position of the sun to tell the time," the owl explained. "It consists of a flat stone with markings on it and a stick that casts a shadow on it. By looking at where the shadow falls on the markings, you can know what hour it is." "Wow, that sounds amazing!" Nutty exclaimed. "But how can we use it if we can't see the sun?" Mango asked. "That's the tricky part," the owl said. "You see, there is only one place in this forest where you can still see the sun even when it's raining: the platform on top of the tallest tree in the forest, which happens to be this tree where I am living in." "There is a platform on top of this tree?" Mango asked. "Yes," the owl nodded. "It was built by ancient people long ago. It's so high that it reaches above the clouds. There you can see the sun clearly." "Then where can we find a sundial?" Nutty asked eagerly. "It's deep in the forest, in an old temple where you can find a sundial," the owl said. "But be careful. It's not easy to get there. You have to cross many dangers and obstacles along the way." "Like what?" Mango asked nervously. "Like wild animals, poisonous plants, traps, and puzzles, and the guardian of the temple," the owl said ominously. "The guardian of the temple? Who is that?" Nutty asked fearfully. "It's a giant snake that lives in the temple and guards its secrets," the owl said. "It's very old and powerful, and it doesn't like visitors." "Wow, that sounds scary." Nutty shivered. "But don't worry. If you're brave and smart enough, you can overcome all these challenges and reach your goal. Mango, you have proved yourself in the previous coconut and coffee quest. Now you and Nutty must support each other on this new quest," the owl said encouragingly. "And then you will be able to tell the time of the day with your sundial." "Thank you for your help, owl," Mango said gratefully. "We will try our best." "Yes. Thank you very much," Nutty said politely. "You're welcome," the owl said kindly. "Good luck on your quest." Mango and Nutty thanked him again and left his home. They looked at each other with determination in their eyes. "Are you ready for this adventure?" Mango asked his friend. "Yes, I am," Nutty replied confidently. "Then let's go," Mango said as he grabbed his backpack. They set off into the forest. They hoped to find the sundial and bring it back to their friends. They did not know what awaited them on their journey. Mango and Nutty walked through the forest, following the directions given by the owl. They had to cross a river, climb a hill, go through a cave, and pass a swamp before they could reach the temple where the sundial was. Along the way, they faced many dangers and obstacles. They had to avoid a hungry crocodile that lurked in the river, dodge a swarm of angry bees that attacked them on the hill, escape a pack of wolves that chased them in the cave, and jump over a pit of quicksand that trapped them in the swamp. But they also had some fun and made some new friends. They met a friendly river dolphin that helped them cross the river, a wise beekeeper that gave them some honey on the hill, a funny bat that guided them in the cave, and a helpful frog that showed them the way out of the swamp. They also learned some new things and solved some puzzles. They learned how to make a raft out of bamboo and vines to cross the river, how to use smoke to calm down the bees on the hill, how to use fireflies to light their way in the cave, and how to use a stick to test the depth of the quicksand in the swamp. They also solved some riddles and clues that were left by the ancient people on the way to the temple. They had to answer a question carved on a stone bridge to cross it, find a hidden lever behind a waterfall to open a gate. They did all these things with courage and intelligence, working together as a team. They encouraged each other when they were scared or tired. They shared their ideas and skills when they were stuck or confused. They celebrated their achievements when they succeeded. They also had fun and enjoyed their journey. They laughed at their own jokes and pranks. They sang songs and told stories. They admired the beauty and wonder of nature. They became closer friends than ever before. After many days of walking, solving, and exploring, they finally reached their destination, the temple where the sundial was. It was an impressive sight. A huge stone building with pillars, arches, domes, and statues. It looked ancient and mysterious, but also majestic and elegant. It was surrounded by trees and vines, but also by walls and gates. It was hidden and protected, but also inviting and welcoming. Mango and Nutty approached it with curiosity. They hoped to find the sundial inside it, but they also felt a sense of danger and fear. They remembered what the owl had said about the guardian of the temple, a giant snake that lived in it and guarded its secrets. They wondered if they would meet it, and if they would survive it. Mango and Nutty entered the temple cautiously. They looked around and saw many rooms and corridors, some lit by torches and some dark and gloomy. They saw paintings and sculptures, some beautiful and some scary. They saw signs and symbols, some familiar and some strange. They decided to explore the temple and look for clues. They hoped to find the sundial before they found the snake. They split up and went in different directions, agreed to meet back at the entrance in an hour. Mango went to the left, Nutty went to the right. Mango walked through a long hallway with many doors on both sides. He opened one of them and peeked inside. He saw bookshelves with many books and scrolls, laboratory benches with many flasks and tubes, workshop tables with many tools and machines, galleries with many paintings and statues. He was amazed by what he saw. He wondered what the ancient people who lived here were like. He wondered what they knew and what they did. He wished he could read their books, use their tools, admire their art. But he also remembered his mission. He looked for the sundial in the room, but he could not find it. He moved on to the next door. Nutty walked through a spiral staircase that led him to the upper floor of the temple. He reached a large balcony that overlooked the forest. He saw the rain falling down from the sky, but he also saw a ray of sunlight breaking through the clouds. He smiled and felt hopeful. He thought that maybe the monsoon season was ending soon. He thought that maybe he would see the sun again. But he also remembered his mission. He looked for the sundial on the balcony, but he could not find it. He moved on to the next staircase. Mango opened another door and entered a room that looked like a temple within a temple. It had an altar, a statue, a fountain, and a candle. It had a peaceful and sacred atmosphere. He felt a sense of respect. He wondered who or what the ancient people who lived here worshipped. He wondered if they had any gods or spirits. He wished he could learn more about their beliefs, join their rituals, feel their faith. But he also remembered his mission. He looked for the sundial in the room, but he could not find it. He moved on to the next door. Nutty climbed another staircase and reached a room that looked like an observatory. It had a telescope, a globe, and a map. It had a scientific and curious vibe. He felt a sense of wonder and excitement. He wondered what the ancient people who lived here observed. He wondered if they saw any stars or planets. He wished he could use their telescope, spin their globe, read their map. But he also remembered his mission. He looked for the sundial in the room, but he could not find it. He moved on to the next staircase. Mango opened another door and entered a room that looked like a treasure vault. It had chests, jewels, coins, and crowns. It had a rich and luxurious feel. He felt a sense of greed and temptation. He wondered how much wealth the ancient people who lived here had. He wondered if they had any kings or queens. But he also remembered his mission. He looked for the sundial in the room, but he could not find it. He moved on to the next door. Nutty climbed another staircase and reached a room that looked like a garden. It had flowers, fruits, herbs, and spices. It had a fresh and natural smell. He felt a sense of hunger and delight. He wondered what kind of plants the ancient people who lived here grew. He wondered if they had any food or medicine. He wished he could pick their flowers, taste their fruits, smell their herbs. But he also remembered his mission. He looked for the sundial in the room, but he could not find it. He moved on to the next staircase. Mango opened another door and entered a room that looked like nothing. It was empty and dark, except for a small pedestal in the center with something on it. He felt curious and suspicious. He wondered what this room was for. He wondered what was on the pedestal. He walked towards it slowly and carefully. He reached it and saw what was on it. Exactly what the wise old owl described. It is a sundial. He felt happy and relieved. He had found it, but he also felt scared and nervous. He heard something behind him, a hiss. He turned around quickly and saw what was behind him. A snake, a giant snake, the guardian of the temple. It was coiled around a pillar near the door, ready to strike at him. It had scales of green and gold, eyes of red and black, fangs of white and venomous. It looked old and powerful, angry and hungry. It spoke to him. "Who are you? What are you doing here? How dare you enter my temple?" Mango was terrified by its voice. I'm Mango," he stammered. "I came here to find this sundial." The snake snarled. "The sundial is mine. It belongs to me. It is part of my treasure." Mango was confused by its words. "Your treasure? But why do you need it? You can't use it." The snake hissed. "I don't need it. I want it. I collect it. I have everything in this temple. Books, tools, art, jewels, and this sundial. It is rare and precious. It is mine." Mango was shocked by its greed. "But that's not fair. You can't have everything. You have to share with others." The snake laughed. "Share? With whom? With you? With your friends? With those who live in this forest? Ha! They are nothing but pests. They disturb my peace. They threaten my secrets. They deserve nothing but death." Mango was angry by its cruelty. "That's not true. They are my friends. They are good animals. They need this sundial to tell the time of day when it's raining." The snake sneered. "Tell the time of day? What for? What does it matter? Time is meaningless. Time is endless. Time is mine." Mango was puzzled by its madness. "What do you mean? Time is not yours. Time is for everyone. Time is important." The snake roared. "Enough. Enough of your nonsense. Enough of your presence. Enough of your life. You have seen too much. You have learned too much. Now you must pay with your blood." The snake lunged at him with its mouth open wide. Mango screamed as he dodged its attack. He grabbed the sundial from the pedestal. He ran towards the door, but it was too late. The snake blocked his way. It wrapped its tail around him. It squeezed him hard. Mango gasped for air as he felt his bones breaking. He cried out for help as his vision fading. "Nutty, Nutty, where are you?" Nutty heard Mango's cry for help as he was climbing the last staircase. He had reached the top floor of the temple, where he saw a large window where he could see the whole forest. He was about to go there and look for the sundial when he heard his friend's voice. "Nutty, Nutty, where are you?" He recognized the fear and pain in Mango's voice. He realized he was in trouble. He felt worried. He wondered what had happened to him. He decided to go back and help him. He hoped he was not too late. He ran down the stairs as fast as he could. He followed Mango's voice and his scent. He reached a room and saw Mango lying on the floor, wrapped by a giant snake. He saw the snake squeezing him hard, ready to swallow him whole. He saw the sundial in Mango's hand, shining in the dark. He felt shocked and angry. He recognized the snake as the guardian of the temple. He decided to fight it and save Mango. He hoped he was strong enough. He grabbed a stick from nearby and lit it on fire. He charged at the snake with the stick. He shouted at it, "Hey, you! Leave my friend alone." The snake heard Nutty's shout as it was about to eat Mango. It saw Nutty running towards him with a flaming stick. It felt annoyed and amused. It spoke to Nutty. "Who are you? What are you doing here? How dare you interfere with my meal?" Nutty was surprised by its voice. "I'm Nutty," he stuttered. "I came here with Mango to find the sundial." The snake scoffed. "The sundial is mine. It belongs to me. It is part of my treasure." The snake let go of Mango and lunged at Nutty with its mouth open wide. Mango was let go. He stood up and he realized Nutty was in danger. He grabbed its tail with all his strength. Nutty dodged its attack as it was held back by Mango. Nutty used this opportunity to swing the stick at its head. He hit it hard. My head, how dare you hit my head," the snake screamed. Mango let go its tail, picked up the sundial and ran towards Nutty. The snake recoiled in pain and anger. It spat venom at Mango and Nutty. They ducked and avoided it. Mango and Nutty held onto each other and ran towards the door. The snake recovered from the pain and slithered after them with its mouth open wide. Mango suddenly saw a lever on the other side of the door. When they ran past through the door, he pushed it hard with his leg. The door slammed shut behind them. The snake crashed into the door with a loud thud. It was trapped inside the room. It roared in rage and frustration. They ran out of the temple. They were safe now and they had gotten the sundial. They ran back to their forest. Their friends welcomed them. They placed the sundial on the platform on top of the tallest tree of the forest. Mango's best friend Monkey Banjo was now responsible to report the time to all the animals every day during the monsoon seasons. Mango and the sundial adventure has ended. Please stay tuned and subscribe to this channel for more upcoming adventures. Thank you for your support.